Hey you guys, today we're going to be breaking down the base Shotlocks of all the current Keyblades in Kingdom Hearts 3. These Shotlocks were not included in the form change breakdowns that I did since the base Shotlocks are not associated with the form changes. I saw a couple people asking about this in my breakdowns, so I just wanted to address that at the start of the video. Anyways, the Shotlocks in Kingdom Hearts 3 have 5 different variations, with 3 of them being based on the Shotlocks in Birth by Sleep. These 3 are the Ragnarok-like attacks, the charges, and the blades. I'm going to organize all of the Kingdom Hearts 3 Shotlocks into 5 groups and talk about the general way that the Shotlocks work, and then point out how they look different with the various Keyblades. Let's start with the Ragnarok Shotlocks first. There are 3 Keyblades that use this type of Shotlock, though if you're counting the DLC Keyblades, then there are 6 I believe. These Keyblades are Kingdom Key, Happy Gear, and Honey Spout. The Shotlock shows Sora charging up energy on the tip of his Keyblade before shooting out individual projectiles that home in on the enemies you've targeted. The Kingdom Keys version of this Shotlock is called King of Hearts and can lock onto 23 enemies. Light and wind are pulled towards the tip of the Keyblade, and an orb of light builds up around the key. The orb bursts and heart projectiles appear and circle out from the Kingdom Key, homing in on enemies. The hearts have sparkles and light trailing behind them. Happy Gear's version of this Shotlock is called Snakebite and can lock onto 17 targets. A spinning portal appears in front of the tip of the Keyblade and slowly condenses before shooting out orbs with snakes on them. You can actually see the teeth of the snake on the orb, and the bodies of these snakes make up the trail behind the orb. Honey Spout's Shotlock is called Honey Burst and can lock onto 27 targets. Streams of honey circle towards the Keyblade, and you can see a very light orb of light, or maybe honey, expand as it charges. Bees made of honey burst out of the orb and target enemies. The trails are made up of light and sparkles, as well as a trail of honey. I was wondering if it would cause a honey status effect on enemies, but I never saw the effect triggered during my testing. Let's move on to the next group of Shotlocks. The next category is what I call the Shooting Star Shotlocks, since the first Keyblade you can use this with is Shooting Star. Very original, I know. Anyways, there are 3 Keyblades associated with this Shotlock: Shooting Star, Nano Gear, and Grand Chef. The Shotlock has Sora flipping backwards as he spins the Keyblade around himself. He throws his arm forward and spins the Keyblade in front of himself, spawning projectiles that home in on targeted enemies. At the end of the Shotlock, Sora guides the Keyblade back to his hand. The Shooting Star Shotlock is called Meteor Shower and can lock onto 17 targets. The projectiles spawned are stars with sparkles and orbs of light trailing behind them. Nano Gear's Shotlock is called Cube Extreme and can lock onto 23 targets. These projectiles are streams of data cubes with blue data flowing behind them. Grand Chef's Shotlock is called Steam Spiral and can lock onto 31 targets. The projectiles and effects are extremely similar to the swirls of imagination seen during the cooking minigame and of course the original movie. The next category is the Drain Shotlocks. There are only 2 Keyblades associated with this one: Hero's Origin and Ever After. This Shotlock is pretty simple. It targets the enemies and drains them of their HP. Sora raises his Keyblade and you can see the HP orbs fly up and towards Sora. They all spiral towards Sora as they get closer. At the end, Sora does a twist in the air. Hero's Origin's Shotlock is called Drain Shock and can target 15 enemies. When Sora jumps into the air, lightning bolts appear around him. Ever After's Shotlock is called Shimmering Drops and can target 27 enemies. When Sora jumps into the air, flower petals and hair can be seen around him. The next category is the Charge Shotlocks. There are only 2 Keyblades associated with this one: Favorite Deputy and Classic Tone. The Shotlock shows Sora throwing the Keyblade upwards as he spins around. He then catches the Keyblade, holding it backwards like Ventus, before disappearing in a flash of light. A strike of light appears and an after image shows him dashing forward. He will dash at the number of enemies targeted, disappearing at the end of the charge and reappearing to attack the next enemy. At the end of the strikes, he will reappear back at his original spot with a flash of light. This last part does not seem to damage enemies though, since you can see a Neo Shadow here moving and it does not seem to be staggered from the attack. At the end of these charges, he will flip backwards, kind of like how Ventus flips backwards after his Shotlocks in Birth by Sleep. Favorite Deputy's Shotlock is called Ghost Horde and can lock on to 11 targets. The charge up shows fog or some kind of wind gathering around him before he disappears. The after images are ghosts of Sora and wispy white light trails behind him. The same fog or air at the beginning is pushed outwards at the end of the Shotlock. Classic Tone's Shotlock is called Phantom Rush and can lock on to 15 enemies. As Sora charges up, a countdown starts from 3 and the screen turns black and white. The after images are the Timeless River version of Sora from Kingdom Hearts 2, and the trails are cartoon clouds and lines of light. A cartoon effect shows up after every successful hit. The effect at the end of the Shotlock shows wind swirling around Sora and a cartoon cloud and stars exploding outwards from him. The last category is the Blade Shotlocks. There are 3 blades associated with this category. These are Starlight, Crystal Snow, and Wheel of Fate. The Shotlock shows Sora jumping into the air and spinning his Keyblade above his head with a wind or light effect spinning above him depending on the Keyblade you are using. He then thrusts his Keyblade forward, shooting out projectiles as he twists in the air. After every twist, he will hold his Keyblade straight out in front of him. It's actually pretty smart how they set this animation up. When he holds out the Keyblade in front of himself, the end animation can fit right in. If you are locked onto a high number of enemies, Sora will spin 3 times in the air. If you are locked onto a medium number of enemies, he will spin twice, and if you are only locked onto a couple of enemies, he will spin once. The end animation is still smooth for each level of enemies you are targeting. Not really an important detail, but I thought it was pretty interesting. Starlight's Shotlock is called Blaze of the Round and can lock onto 23 enemies. Wind and a ray of light circle above his head at the start of the Shotlock. When he shoots out the projectiles, he actually shoots out beams of light that then spawn spinning blades of light. It's pretty interesting how both of Starlight's Shotlocks shoot out the purplish white light, almost like it's being taken over by darkness. This Keyblade is associated with the Age of Fairy Tales and the old Keyblade wielders, so I wonder if this is some hint to a darker story. I don't know, just something I've been wondering about. Anyways, Crystal Snow's Shotlock is called Diamond Dust and can lock on to 23 enemies. Air swirls above Sora during the start of the Shotlock, and the projectiles are giant snowflakes that fly towards enemies. Ice effects can also be seen where the snowflakes are spawned. Wheel of Fate's Shotlock is called Bladestorm and can target 31 enemies. Aero Magic and a ray of light spin above Sora, and small air blades fly towards enemies, which after a couple seconds grow into giant air blades. And that is it for the base Shotlocks. It's really amazing how everything is so detailed in this game. Kingdom Hearts 2 had some amazing detail, don't get me wrong, and I enjoyed putting together the drive form breakdowns, but I am blown away with everything that is packed into Kingdom Hearts 3. It's really refreshing to come back to this game. Anyways, that is all I have for you guys today. I'm pretty active on Twitch, YouTube, Discord, and Twitter, so be sure to follow the links in the description below to stay updated. Click the cards on screen to watch some of my form change or drive form breakdowns. The form change breakdowns will have the max Shotlocks included if you are interested in those. Subscribe or share this video, and I will see you in the next one.